Hello and welcome to episode 4 of SongCraft 101 with me. Okay, so I was wrong. My sound actually didn't stop. Okay, so I think before we do our subs, we're gonna get our drums kind of halfway lined out. So I've got trash everywhere. I pretty much live on Monster and cigarettes, so. Okay. So, this is Impact, which is like a drum plugin or whatever, and there's like, I kind of like that actually. I think I may have used this kind of to some extent before. But this has like preset, whatever you want to call these little deals. I don't know. You see them, people play on them and stuff. Touchpad deal. So my thing is, it kind of sucks to. So see how long this waveform is on this drum. Like you can make it smaller, but it's gonna sound really weird. I don't know. I don't like it. I prefer it to fade out naturally, like organically, but I also don't want it to take up this much time, because what you're gonna have to do is to get this to coexist with your sub without completely. Especially if you're using a sub that has a drum sample in it, that's gonna be even more complicated. But if you're like I always specifically use ones that don't, right? Because I don't want the headache, I don't want the hassle. But this is your you can turn it on and off if you're using the same plugin as me, Sublabs, and I'm sure there's a million others that are probably better. But this one was cheap. I think I got it on sale or something. So, but either way, if you want to be able to get a good volume out of both of them, then you've got to eliminate their need to compete, because they kind of operate on similar frequencies or hertz or whatever, and so if they're both like hammering into the same peak, it's gonna make you to where you have to have your everything else really, really low. You're gonna be over here cranking your pads and your synths and whatever else you've got, your vocals, just to the freaking roof, just to be able to hear it over top of those peaks. And I mean, there's ways that you can tame that and stuff, but not to any real, like, it's better just to start with a decent run before you have to try to mix it in and make it work when it's not working, I think. But people that are more technically gifted than I am would probably disagree, and they could sit down and make something out of literally anything, but I'm not one of those people. I want to make music, you know. I'm not a tech guy, but still you kind of have to be a little bit, I guess, of a tech guy to do this kind of stuff. But anyway, so they're competing. So what you do is, I guess there's a bunch of different kinds of compressors. I don't know what everybody's got. This is the way I do it. And some DAWs have like a really, really simple sidechain way to sidechain, I guess. But to me, the easiest way on Studio One to sidechain is you're gonna come over here, and it's like, I think it's in my favorites actually. Oh, I'm still in my, okay. You're gonna grab a compressor, slap that bad boy on here, default, or you want to sidechain it, and then I'm gonna turn my attack and release all the way down for right now until we decide what we're doing. And so that means when there should be a drop in the sound of the sub every time the kick happens. It's like an automated drop in the signal, so that way your kick can come through and pop, and then the sub hits again. And so your attack is going to be how long it takes for that to take effect after the kick. And then your release is going to be how long it lasts after it takes effect or whatever. So for me, I always turn the attack pretty much as low as I can so I can get that immediate drop. Like, I don't want it to drop, you know, half a second after, because that just sounds poopy. I don't want that. But then at the same so this really made me think of that story. I don't know, maybe some of you remember seeing it. It used to be, I think it was a meme for a while, and I think it might have been one of those FML stories from like way back in the day or whatever. But like, so there was a kid sitting in class, and he had to fart really bad, but he didn't want to like fart in front of his whole class because that's embarrassing or whatever. And so he decided, he worked up this plan in his head that he was going to drop the book on his book, because if you remember how loud that is when you drop one of those textbooks on the ground. So he was going to drop one of those textbooks on the floor and try to fart like at the same time, and it would kind of mask it, right? Like, he was trying to compress his fart with the sound of that book. And basically what happened was he came in late. Like, his attack was too short, or too long. I mean, his attack was too long. So he dropped the book on the ground, and then the teacher and everybody else in the classroom like turns to look at him, and then he lets one rip, and he just looks like a big a-hole in front of the whole class. In time, the release is where you're going to get that pumping effect for, like, if you're working on EDM and stuff like that. So those songs are like boom, 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 you know, or whatever, where there's like a drop after the kick and then the bass slides back up. It's boom, 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 or dubstep or whatever you're doing, any kind of EDM, I guess, really. A lot of it has that in it. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to turn this release. So then there's a fade, and then it comes back in. Like, it holds the signal down for longer, and then allows it to ramp back up real quick after. So for me though, right now, because we don't know what we're doing. Okay, so there's presets in here. And I've used this. And so a lot of people say that they would rather have their drums on separate tracks and stuff, and you totally could. But for me, so like the way that I've got mine set up, it goes to different instruments in the mix. So like when you go to this, it's each of them have their own. You can assign them different spaces in the mix. But so I don't really need them to be on separate tracks here, really, for me. You know, some people maybe prefer it differently, but I can still, like, I don't feel like I've lost any control, because I can control the fade, I can control the gain, I can control all that stuff separately, and then I can come in here and I can filter it and stuff directly in the plugin itself without really having to, and you can tune it if you're one of those people that uses like real long kicks and stuff or whatever, and you think that you want to do all that. What's Crunkzilla? See, that sounds like shit. Okay, so we'll just make our own. Let's go up here. We'll just make our own. All right. So for Studio One, here's how you do that. You go to loops, and I don't use loops. You don't want to use loops. Nobody wants to use loops. That's just where the shit is for some reason. All right, and then you go to one shot, and I guess it's a hyphenated word, and then you're gonna look for kicks, and so you've got all these poopy jazz kicks, all these, like, I don't know who recorded these samples, but I think they sound awful. That's just me though. So I usually come down to like some of these little more, see, like, I like that, nice and quick. Yeah, like, I don't want to sample. Yeah, to me, and maybe this is just my opinion, but I don't want to use a kick sample that's got friggin' reverb on it. If I want reverb on it, I'll put reverb on it. Like, I don't want to. That doesn't sound good to me. Yeah, I like that. So we're gonna use that one, and we're gonna use like this smaller one. Oh shit! That's not what I wanted. I wanted that one. Yeah, so that one's a little bit quieter. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so then you're gonna, I mean, eventually you're gonna want like a clap or a snare. I don't really mind these. I mean, I still don't really like when they come with reverb on them, because that kind of eliminates your control, you know? I'd rather have it dry and be able to work on it. Shit, I gotta go. Hello, so this one ended up being short again, but it's because it while I was taking it, there was just a natural break in the video because I looked up and I realized I was supposed to meet my girlfriend. I don't remember. I was like taking her some stuff that she left at my house or something. And I completely I got stuck in this and I forgot all about it. And I looked up and noticed that it was like time to be there type, you know. And so I had to go. So the next one will be after there was like a break in between. So I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's I know it's long, and I have a way of explaining things that is um, probably a little more in depth than necessary. But I think that it's important to understand the principle of things, because unless you're going to make a song that's exactly the same as the one that I'm making right now, then you need to understand how to use different things in different contexts and all of that. So I thought, you know, for me, understanding the underlying principles of things is better than just memorizing the topic itself. And that, I think, is how you're supposed to learn. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. I can't ever